The game uses sound files with the WEM file extension. These are WY's encoded media files by Audiokinetic. The process is simple. Look for the sound files you want to replace, convert your sound files into WEM, then replace them. For sound effects, you just have to add 2 steps. At the beginning of a process, extract the files from BNK files, and in the end, repack them back. Before we begin, here's the list of stuff you will need. Foobar 2000 or VGMGUI to convert from WEM to WAV files. Sound Editor 2018 to convert from MP3 or WAV to WEM files. SOR4 Sound Replacer to extract WEM files from the BNK and repack them back into those BNK files. Let's start by downloading and installing the apps we need so we can focus on the sound and conversion stuff later. Links are provided in the description below. After downloading and installing Sound Editor 2018, it will tell you that it can't find Audiokinetic WYs. And if you want to start the setup, click Yes. It will install Audiokinetic's WYs launcher in the process. The WYs launcher will present you with another installation screen which actually installs what it needs. Make sure that these settings are not touched and you won't have any problems. Once that's done, the WYs launcher may present you with a login screen. Just ignore this and close this app. If, for some reason, the WYs launcher setup doesn't start automatically, go to your Sound Editor 2018 installation folder and look inside the dependencies folder. Launch the WYs launcher.msi installer and go through the process. After all this, launch Sound Editor 2018 and go to Settings. Browse for the WYs installation, then browse to where you want this app to put your converted files into. If you are using the SOR4 Sound Replacer to replace sound effect, I suggest setting this as the same folder as the destination folder in your SOR4 Sound Replacer. We'll get back to this later. If you want to rip music, you have to convert the WEM files in the data folder into WAV files. Let's prepare Foobar. Download and install. A really straightforward process. We'll need an additional way to play and convert the WEM files, so let's get it. Again, the link is provided below. Download Foo Input VGMstream.fb2k component. Double-click it to allow it to install itself in Foobar, and we're done. If you have the portable version of Foobar, get VGMstream-win.zip from the link. Extract the contents into the user components to input VGMstream folder and create them if they don't exist. As an alternative to Foobar, you may want to try VGMGUI. Go to the link in the description, get the zip file, extract it somewhere, then launch VGMGUI.exe. Error lors du chargement de PLC. Voulez-vous les télécharger? Basically says, are you trying to break the game? Are you crazy? Just click yes. This will download VLC, a player which, if you haven't heard about this yet, well, where have you been? But this will download only the extension version which VGMGUI needs, so on to modding the music. Most of the music, if not all, is lying plainly in the data folder of your Streets of Rage 4 installation. For sound effects, the WEM sound files are compressed inside BNK files named core.bnk and generic.bnk. You can convert these WEM files into WAV by using Foobar 2000 or VGMGUI. Both software will allow you to preview these files. If you're using Foobar, load the files you want to check, then right-click on them. Select Convert, then Quick Convert. Click on this Convert button and browse to where you want to save these files. If you're using VGMGUI, load your files here, preview if you want, then you can click Start Conversion immediately. By default, the WAV files will be extracted into a converted folder inside your source folder as indicated here. Of course, you can change these if you like. Once you have your replacement WAV or MP3 files, launch Sound Editor 2018. Check or set your WEM export directory in the settings menu to see where the app will put your new WEM files. Go to Tools, Sound Converter, and browse to where your files are. If you're not seeing the files in your folder, check the file type settings if you have the correct one. You may also select multiple files here. Press Convert. Depending on the length of the file, it may take a few seconds. After the conversion, go to your output folder and put the files in your Streets of Rage 4 data folder. Now let's start modding sound effects. You'll need the SOR4 Sound Replacer for this. Upon launching the app, click on this BNK folder button and navigate to where your BNK files are. These will usually be in the data folder inside your Streets of Rage 4 installation, like program files, Steam apps, common Streets of Rage 4 data. Unless you installed it in a different folder, the app will create core.backup.bnk and generic.backup.bnk automatically. You can also copy your BNK files somewhere and select this folder in case you're scared of the app touching your game files directly. Again, whatever happens, you can still get your original files back by having Steam verify your game files. Next, click on the destination folder button and browse to where you want the app to extract the sound files to. Once you see the extract and repack buttons enabled, click on any of the extract buttons and wait for a few seconds, then go look at the folder you indicated as your destination folder. You will see WEM files which you can load into either Foobar or VGMGUI. Load them to listen to each of these files and look for what you want to replace. Load them only a few at a time, especially in Foobar, where playing one will autoplay all the next files by default and you can easily get lost in it.
These guns are ready. Are you?
Sound may have multiple instances like Shiva, Spirit Palm, and Floyd's Cybernova voices. You'll just have to go through each one as we don't have a master list at this time. Once you find the WEM files you want to replace, get your MP3 or WAV files ready by renaming them to match the file you want to replace. This is so you don't get lost after you convert them into WEM files.
Spirit Palm! Spirit Palm!
Just be sure that you isolate the core and generic files from each other. Don't mix them together or you'll have a difficult time managing what goes where. When you're ready, launch Sound Editor 2018 and go to Tools, Sound Converter. Then click on the three-dot Browse button. You can select multiple files here. Click Convert when you're ready. Copy these WEM files into the destination folder where you originally found them. Once you have your new WEM files in your destination folder, it's time to repack them into core and generic BNK files. If you choose to create separate BNK files, your BNK files don't get touched, but instead they are created in the root folder or the destination folder you specify. If you did this, you need to copy these new BNK files to your data folder in your game installation. If you chose to overwrite them, you're good to go.